Hello and welcome back to PECHARUNT EX Shrouded Fables deck list. This is one of the new decks introduced in the Shrouded Fables format. Pretty good turbo. I played a few games with it and I like the way it runs. I'll be honest, I like the way it runs. And I'll show you the deck list right now. Starting us off, we got the PECHARUNT EX. Honestly, a really good card. The Subjugating Chains is a really nice ability. Once per turn, you may switch out one of your bench dark Pokemon, except PECHARUNT EX, with one of your active Pokemon. If you do, the new active Pokemon is now Poison. You cannot use more than one Subjugating Chains ability each turn. And for 2 Dark Energy Irritated Outburst, this attack does 60 for each prize card your opponent has taken. So late game, a really strong attack, really strong attack. So it's an attacker as well as a nice little switcher. So this is why we don't need to really run many switch cards or switches in this deck. So PECHARUNT EX does it for you. It also works really good against block stall decks like Snorlax, really good. We run 2 of these. You know, it's one of the key components. If they're prized or it's in your deck, you can always find one more to play around with. Our main attacker of this list, Okidogi EX. For 1 energy, you can search your deck for 2 basic dark energy, put them into this Pokemon, or its second attack, which is what you're going to be using most of the time. For 3 energy, chain creates 130 plus another 130 for 260 altogether. If the Pokemon is poisoned, which most of the time it will be with the PECHARUNT EX. So obviously the whole plan is to get Okidogi into the active from your bench and then poison it using Subjugating Chains ability. It's poison, it does 260. Yeah, and that, you know, I mean 260, yeah, and then with the Mochi, which we'll get into later on, it can do 40 more, upwards of 300, and there's no limitations to it. Usually there's like a move where it's like, you know, it does this much damage, but then a contact next turn. This doesn't have that. You can attack for 300 or 260 consistently, which is really nice. Munkidori, honestly, one of the best cards in this set or in this deck. The oh no you don't. If this Pokemon is knocked out by your opponent's Pokemon, and if you have the PECHARUNT EX in play, they take 1 fewer prize card. So this essentially becomes a 1 prizer, which is nice. Dirty Headbutt 190. Like I said, once during your next turn, this Pokemon cannot use Dirty Headbutt. So yeah, Okidogi doesn't have that. It can consistently go for 260 every turn. So you might be wondering, why would I play Munkidori EX? Well, you know, for the ability, the oh no you don't. Your opponent can only take 1 prize card, which is good. And for 190 plus the Mochi for 40 more, if it's poison, which we'll get into, you can hit for 230, which KOs pretty much every V. And a lot of EXs. A really strong card. And then the next one, Munkidori. Its ability, Andrea Brain, if it has a dark energy attached to it, it can move up to 30 damage from one of your Pokemon to the enemy, which they will be if they're poisoned. Poison taking at least 10 damage each turn. So maybe in 2 or 3 turns, or even the next turn, you can do 10 more damage, you know, and potentially being able to get a knockout on some Pokemons. Our next card is a Morpeko. This was one of my favorite cards in the Roaring Moon decks back a while ago, and this is still a really good card. It hits Mimikyus, which is really nice, and it moves 2 energies from the active to one of your bench. So it comes in, hits, and then if it dies in the active, you're not too bothered because it's got no energies, and it's easy to accelerate a different Pokemon. So I can come and Mimikyu, use the Energizer wheel, hit 70, move two dark energies to my Munkidori or my Munkidori or the Roaring Moon, and it's ready to, and the next Pokemon ready to attack. It's even got free retreat if no energy is attached, which is great. Free retreat, can never complain about that. And now making its way back, the Roaring Moon EX. If you guys have been watching my channel for a long time, you'll know this was one of my favorite cards. It was like my favorite decks to play, my favorite cards. This is the when I first got into Pokemon TCG around this time. It was the Paradox Rift, I believe. Frenzied Gouging, knock out any Pokemon. Charizards, don't stand a chance. Calamity Storm being able to do 220. Discard a Stadium, again, really great, super good card. It's a shame that it kind of fell off, but I'm glad to see that it's kind of still there. It's a really strong 1-off or 2-off. I like to play 2 because you get to KO 2 Charizards, you know, which in that rotation, and it's quite easy to set up and to get out with the PECHARUNT EX. Now the next card we have is a Fezandipiti EX. This is use it for mainly for the ability Flip the Script. You know, if your Pokemon is knocked out by your opponent, you get to draw 3 extra cards, which is nice. Especially this deck doesn't have much of a draw engine, if I'm being honest. Sometimes you can get a little bit stuck, but it's pretty good. Cruel Arrow does 100 to one of your opponent's Pokemon, so you can maybe snipe a baby if you want, a baby Charmander, or which is nice, which is great. Or you know, Frigibax, a Charmander, Dreepy. It's just nice to have. It's nice to have that option of being able to snipe a baby Pokemon. Now, Radiant Greninja, a really good card, you know, concealed card. That's all we're using it for. Discard an energy, draw 2 cards. I get one of our draw engines. And Mew, again, it's the nice free retreat and restart, being able to fill up your hand up to 3 cards if you're ever empty. It's great. A Billy, again, no brainer. Having 1 Billy is always nice. Having the option, if you ever draw a dead hand, you can always get rid of it and draw a brand new hand, and it works well. Or even if you play out your entire hand, you can always Billy for 7 new cards. It's nice. 4 Ultra Balls, because getting these 3, the PECHARUNT, Munkidori, and Okidogi, getting them in play is quite vital. It's very important. They synergize off each other really well, and having them on the bench is just nice. Again, as well, that's why we also run 4 Nest Balls, 2 Earthen Vessels, because we do need to draw energy, and you know, discard to synergize with Dark Patch. It's quite nice. I only run 2 energy switches. I was contemplating playing more, but right now 2 energy switches kind of does me justice. It's quite nice. It's all right. It gets the job done. But I may play maybe 1 more, maybe 1 heavy ball. This is also a nice little tech card to have if I've prized a Munkidori, or I've prized maybe a PECHARUNT. It's nice to get out of my prize cards. 1 Super Rod to put back in a Munkidori or a Fezandipiti or some energy back into my deck if the game's going on for a while. It's just a nice little, it's nice to know you have it, you know, especially if we're gonna, because we play PokéStop, we may accidentally mill them out, so it's always nice to have that option. Pal Pad, we want 1 of Pal Pad, you know, no break. Pal Pad's nice. You can play more Janines or bosses or Ionos. It's nice. It's nice to have as a one-off. 1 Unfair Stamp come late game. It's nice. It's nice. Disruption. I couldn't speak for a second. Sorry. It's nice disruption to have, as well as drawing a fresh new hand late game. Yeah. 3 Binding Mochi, one of the bread and butters of this deck. Running 3 is pretty good because you can hit, like I said, 300 twice, and you can hit for 220, which gives you 6 prizes, even with the frenzied gouging. So running 3 is a nice little sweet spot. If your active Pokemon is poison, you do 40 more damage. So yeah, it lets you hit those big high numbers. Dark Patch, we run 4 of these. We have to run 4 of these. Knockouts, because our attacks are so high energy. You know, 3 energy is is a lot, right? So having Dark Patches, if you get rid of 3 energies on 1 turn, you can Dark Patch and bring 1 back to your bench, and then use PECHARUNT EX to switch. So usually the play would be Janine, Janine, Energy Switch, and attach, and then you have your 3 energies ready to go. 1 Pokemon Catcher. It's nice to play a one-off, you know, just like a little tech card, just like, whoop, I'll take it. But I could replace the Pokemon Catcher with another Energy Switch. But right now, sometimes the Pokemon Catcher comes in handy, I'll be honest. 2 PokéStop, you know, to find our Energy Switches, our Dark Patches as fast as possible, right? To get them going, to get ourselves accelerating. It's nice. 2 Boss's Orders. Yeah, no, just a staple. Bosses, you know, it's nice to have a Boss's Orders. Call in one of the bench Pokemon, slap them up, call it a day. 2 Ionos for disruption and being able to see new cards. This deck is a little, it's not slow, but the draw engine, in my opinion, is a bit lacking. That's the only thing. There's, even with Greninja, Fezandipiti, and Mew, but because we're going to be playing PECHARUNT, Okidogi, Munkidori, we have 3 slots filled up. We have 3 more slots to play around with. Morpeko maybe is usually nice. Maybe Aurora Moon, or even the second Munkidori, the psychic one, or even the Fezandipiti. Therefore, the bench space kind of gets a bit clogged sometimes. That's the main problem with this deck, in my opinion. So it's nice to have an Iono to just draw. Usually, you won't be playing both Fezandipiti and the Mew, in my opinion. Usually, is one of each, or maybe sometimes the Morpeko won't even see game. So it's nice to have an Iono just to disrupt and to see more cards. 4 Janine Secret Art. This is one of the new cards which was released in Shrouded Fables, and a really good card. It's kind of like a Sada, but it's not a Sada. Instead, Sada usually gets the energy from your discard onto your Pokemon, but Janine gets it from your deck. So you thin out your deck, which is quite nice. So you grab 2 energies from your deck, put one on the, maybe you can put one on the active and then one on the bench. Maybe you can start setting up 2 Pokemons that way, which is nice, which is really nice. But unlike Basada gets you 3 more cards from your deck, Janine doesn't. Janine only allows you to attach, which is why I play Asada every time, but unfortunately none of them ancient other than Roaring Moon. And 2, Professor's Research. It's really good, you know, can never go wrong. You can always see more cards. It's perfect. A dead hand, get rid of it, 7 new cards, phenomenal. And energy wise, we are playing 11 energy. Some might say a lot, but I think 11 is a perfect spot in my opinion, considering our attacks are super high, you know, 2, 3, 3, 3, you know, it's a lot of energy. It requires a lot of energy to go in, because you could easily set up 2 Pokemons with Janine. So you can easily go Janine, attach, energy. That's one setup, and you can do the same thing next turn, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's quite easy. So you can easily set up your Pokemons in one turn, which is great. I was thinking about maybe an Ursaluna as like a nice little tech card instead of a Mew, maybe potentially, but I also don't know. It sounded good in my head, but when I tried it, it didn't feel the best, because I wanted to do Ursaluna late game, but I mean, you know, sometimes that's not always the case. But yeah, so maybe not the Ursaluna. This deck list is great right now as far as I've tried it. The only thing I would maybe change is the Munkidori and the Pokemon Catcher. I would just get rid of the Munkidori and I would replace the Pokemon Catcher for an Energy Switch, because if I'm gonna be, so yeah, the Munkidori, I don't know what I would replace with it. Maybe the Mew also gets replaced, because I have the Morpeko for free retreat, and plus there's also a 1 prizer. I'm not giving my opponent the knockout with the Munkidori, for example. If I play Mew, I'm saying I'm up against a mirror match, I have the Mew down, they play the Munkidori just 30 headbutts and KOs my Mew. So maybe it's nice to have the Morpeko as like the switcher instead, as the retreat. I also have PECHARUNT EX for the switching, so again, Mew isn't that great because being able to draw 3 cards, but then Fezandipiti kind of does that already, you know what I mean? Which is why, yeah, so I'm thinking about maybe replacing the Munkidori and the Mew, right? Maybe those 2 I will change, and maybe the Pokemon Catcher. Those 3 cards I'm a bit like switchy around the. But other than that, this deck list is phenomenal. I would urge you guys to try it. It's in the description below, and drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.